What's going on, Cellar Dwellers? Henry, can you say hi? Hi, good job. So while Henry napped, I watched Sushi Girl. And this movie is about an individual named Fish who gets out of jail and is dragged to a Japanese restaurant where we find, well, prior to Fish getting out, you see a girl lay down nude on the table, and her Japanese friend that is laying sushi on her says, "Don't forget your training. Lie still, no matter what you hear, no matter what they do, no matter what. Lay still, don't move a muscle, don't blink, don't breathe." Well, she breathes, but don't make any noises. Duke, the leader of this criminal gang, has paid for Fish to get out of jail. Fish is his rookie on this job that they did, and he's he's brought the 4 other guys that he hired to do this job. He's also brought them back to this place. So Fish gets out of jail, and these 4 other guys. These 4 guys are torturing Fish because Fish is suspected of taking the diamonds from the heist that they had. These 4 guys are torturing him, and the sushi girl is just laying there. It ends up that the 4 guys, or 3 guys, whatever, end up killing each other because they're all paranoid and, telling each other, "You did it, I did it, we all did it, whatever." Everyone's guilty. Fish dies in the process, and then, because they torture him so much, he dies in the process, and then they start going after each other, and the guys kill each other, all except for Duke, who is the leader of this group. Duke then goes to kill the girl by pointing a gun at her head and chooses not to. He then says, "Well, since I didn't get my diamonds back, I'm going to make you my consolation prize." There is fish laid on her genitalia that is poisonous, called fugu, F-U-G-U. And apparently you can eat this and get kind of a high sensation off it, and if it's not eaten or cut correctly, it'll kill you. It's a Japanese fish, I guess. So he eats a little piece off her vagina as he's getting ready to rape her. And, ew, did you poop? No, that's a gross fart, buddy. He eats a piece, and then immediately you see that the toxins of this fish are taking hold of him. So it was not cut correctly, or he's not eating it correctly, or whatever. And, Sushi Girl gets up, and she lets him know that he took something from her and she wants it back. And they kept zooming in on this ring that he's wearing, a pinky ring. So during the flashback of when they were doing this heist, they get their van that they're getting away from, and from the place that they stole these diamonds from, they get sideswiped by a passenger car. The driver of that passenger car gets out and goes to make sure that Duke and all the guys are okay. Duke is clearly pissed and shoots him. What you find out so he dies. So that guy dies trying to go see what happened to Duke and them when they had this car accident after the heist. Come to find out that she was in the car, and that was her husband who got out and died, trying to make sure that everyone was okay. So she cuts Duke's finger off with a cigar, the little end clipper thing, cuts his finger off, takes her husband's ring back, and then puts one bullet into Duke's magnet and starts spinning it and telling her, "You took my love, you did this, you did that." Ends up shooting him, and then you find out that the diamonds, she found them because the bag ripped as Fish tried to get out of the van and dropped all the diamonds, so she went and picked up the diamonds before the cops showed up. And then you get little visuals of her paying the sushi guy, paying a bodyguard that's outside that picked up Fish. So she was orchestrating this whole thing, even though Duke thought he was orchestrating the whole thing. So in reality, she is responsible for all of their deaths. She gets away. The guy outside burns a police car that was listening in because one of the guys was wearing a wire. So the bodyguard guy out there burns that in their car, kills them and burns their car. She takes off with the sushi man, and she says, "I just want to go home." So her work is done. This definitely was not a horror movie. It was definitely a thriller, but good thing it's month of horror, cheap thrills. You know, this movie had a cool concept. It definitely borrowed from Reservoir Dogs with the torture, just the way he's tied and some of the things they did to him. There's an actor in it that he's not very popular, but well recognized. Like a Mexican guy that is in a lot of movies, gruff, gangster looking. Anyway, I can't think of his name. I'm not going to bother to go look it up. So yeah, that's it. Henry did not get to watch it with me. He was asleep. Right, bud? But since you were awake and I had to do this video, I thought we would, make it happen. So, I'm going to give this movie... Okay, so before I get into that, the movie was cool concept, borrowed a couple things from Reservoir Dogs and some other stuff. The acting wasn't great, and it really took away from the movie. There's this one guy called Crow who's a gay. He's one of the guys that was part of their criminal group, and he's gay. And they keep calling him the F word, that and some other stuff. And he was definitely the best actor out of them all. And I don't recognize him, but so out of like the 5 or 6 guys in that room, he was the best one. The others had to try way too hard to portray their roles, and they were trying so hard that it made it worse than if they had just kind of gone with it. So yeah, the acting definitely took away from the movie. There was some really good gore, getting slapped in the face with a bag full of shattered glass, and what it did to Fish's face and stuff. So it was really good gore. Gunshots were cool when people were getting shot. The gore from that. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6. I had fun watching it, but the acting took away, which I'd probably put it at 7, 7.5 had the acting been better. So yeah, that's it. Sushi Girl, can you say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, good job.